From the campus of North Charleston High School, it's our Guy Roofing High School Hoops Game of the Week, and what a game we've got for you tonight. Rivalry action between the Bulldogs of Burke and the Cougars of North Charleston. What a game tonight here for our Game of the Week as we welcome you down to the court alongside ABC News Sports Director Scott Eisberg. I'm Jeff McCarriger. Scott, you've been covering sports here in the state for a long time, and you know as well as anybody, this is one of the great rivalries here in the state of South Carolina. Absolutely no love lost whatsoever between these two schools, separated by just 8 miles.
Yeah, this gym was filled in the middle of the girls' game. This is one of the oldest rivalries in the whole state of South Carolina. The downtown North Charleston rivalry dates back to the 50s. These two exact schools date back to 1982. Year in, year out, a great ball game this year. Two very evenly matched teams.
Yeah, very good players on the court as well. I mean, we talk about the history of this rival. This year we've got some great players. And speaking of which, let's take a look at a couple of players to watch. We'll start with Burke and Kyrie Thompson, who's been terrific for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's the guy, a two-time all-region selection. He's actually the only player on this team that was on that 2017 state championship team and did get playing time when Sidney Robinson went down with an injury. He's the guy for Burke.
On the other side for North Charleston, the Cougars 11-4, being led by Darjawan Brown. They call him Doggy, one of the best scorers in the state.
Yeah, he is the guy. He is electric when he is out there. He is the leader of this team. Chris Brown says his basketball IQ is off the charts. Already with an offer from SC State. Surely we'll have more pouring in for Doggy.
Rivalry game tonight for our Guy Roofing High School Hoops Game of the Week. The Bulldogs 11-5, the Cougars 11-4. Tip-off comes your way next. And welcome back for our high school hoops game of the week. It's brought to you by Guy Roofing, your trusted roofing contractor for 50 years. The Low Country's most trusted roofing company for all of your residential and commercial roofing needs. If you need a roof, we've got you covered. That's Guy Roofing. All right, Scott, let's get into our Crew Chevrolet keys to the game, and we'll start first with Burke.
Yeah, no question about it. Stop that two-headed monster. There are two players for North Charleston who can light it up and fill it up. Those two guys averaging over 40 points a game between them. That's Doggy Brown and Deshaun Murray. So if you're going to stop North Charleston, you have to stop those guys because they can certainly score for the Cougars.
And for North Charleston, again, 11-4, their keys here for tonight.
Yeah, you just got to play in the moment tonight. This is an outstanding atmosphere. You've got a full gym. You've got the TV cameras. It's already hot in here. You just got to contain the moment. You got to understand you're playing one game at a time. You can't make this one bigger than it is. They've already got 5A wins this year, so you just got to concentrate on beating your rival Burke and not try to play for a state championship tonight because you can't win one tonight.
And Scotty, before we get to the starting lineups, real quick here, nice ceremony going on here at the courts. We'll be a little delayed here for tip-off, but you can see the pictures and great atmosphere. And
yeah, no question about it. They are honoring the man, the myth, the legend for Burke High School. That is Earl Brown, one of the most popular figures in sports in this city ever. Over 700 wins for Burke High School. Went on to coach Baptist Hill and Cross later on in his career. But Earl Brown is basketball in the city of Charleston. He is just a legend. Coached so many players that went on. A guy like Jermel, president for the College of Charleston, a legend. Melvin Watson for the Gamecocks. He coached so many guys, even some NFLers during his football time. Aronde Gadsden, longtime Miami Dolphin, played for Earl Brown. So he is one of those guys he's revered. It doesn't matter if you're a Burke person or a North Charleston person, you have that respect for Earl Brown for how long he coached in this area.
So no doubt a nice moment here inside the gym at North Charleston. Earl Brown trying to get the crowd going. And again, just a bit of a delay here while Earl gives a brief speech before we get to the starting lineups. Let's get to our Guy Roofing Raise the Roof fan cam. And as Scotty just mentioned, this place is packed. And you're right, it's been packed since about halftime of the girls' game.
Yeah, about halftime of the girls' game, they started flowing in, and it hasn't stopped since. It's just a great atmosphere for basketball, whether they play downtown or whether they play up here in North Charleston. So many memories between these two teams, and these are two really good teams. It's not a lopsided rivalry at all. You know, in the last decade, both of these teams have been to state championship games. That's what makes it so exciting, is that they are elite at the level they play at. They compete against some of those bigger 4A, 5A schools week in, week out, and when they play each other, it just means more. There's no question about it.
All right, nice ceremony there for Earl Brown, the legend here in this area, and that will bring us to our starting lineups tonight. And we'll start with the Burke Bulldogs. Carlos Thorne, a 5'9", 165 senior guard, primary ball handler here for the Bulldogs, averaging almost 8 points per game. Ramel Bell, he's a junior, 6'4", great size as another guard for the Bulldogs. Keon Hines is a sophomore, just making his third start of the season. Then Kyrie Thompson, who Scott was just talking about, a senior guard. They're really going to need him on the defensive side tonight as well as the offensive side, but he's the team's leading scorer at 13 points per game. And then Kelvin Allen will round out that starting five. That's brought to you by Youth Collaborative. Again, for the Bulldogs, Thorne, Bell, Hines, Thompson, and Allen. And again, Burke comes into tonight at 11-5. And again, that's what makes this rivalry so great. These two schools separated by 8 miles, such tremendous history and passion. And again, no love lost between these two, but this year we have some outstanding players.
Yeah, downtown Charleston used to have a couple of high schools, Charleston High School, C.A. Brown High School, and Burke. They all formed one high school, and then up here in North Charleston was Chicora High School, and then Bonds Wilson High School. That's the famous high school Dave Meggett played for, and Art Shell played for Bonds Wilson, and then they kind of joined up with North Charleston. So in '82, when they became the Burke Bulldogs and the North Charleston Cougars, each city was kind of represented, and now, of course, more schools have popped up, but these are those original rivals that have always maintained that great rivalry.
And your MUSC Youth Collaborative starting lineup for the North Charleston Cougars. Again, they come into today at 11-4. We talked about Jarjuan Brown. They call him Doggy. He's averaging 24 points per game. There he is. And 7.5 rebounds per contest. He is without a doubt the leader of this team and also the team captain. Trenton Bennett, 6'3", 175 senior, another starter for them, averaging a double-double, 13.5 points and 12 rebounds. Rico Planter, a senior guard. He's been real critical here in the starting lineup. Second on the team in assists with 41. Deshaun Murray, another senior, averaging 22 points per game. That's a part of that two-headed monster that Scotty was talking about with Doggy Brown and Deshaun Murray. And then wrapping up the starting five for the Cougars, Nate Green, a senior transfer from Fort Dorchester. He's averaging 6 points and 8 rebounds per contest. So again, for the Cougars, Brown, Bennett, Planter, Deshaun Murray, Nate Green, and boy, that's going to be the big thing to watch tonight. And you hit it right on the head. The two-headed monster of Brown and Murray averaging together about 45 points per game.
Yeah, when you have two guys that can do that, it draws college coaches to the gym too, which is good for everybody. And Chris Brown says so many of their games this year, you've had college coaches come through, and that's so good for the rest of his guys, because even though they might not be getting Division I offers, they're getting some looks from coaches who will pass the word now. And now it's looking like Deshaun Murray is looking to get an offer this week from Lewisburg College. There are colleges that are coming through here and seeing these guys. They're all coming to see Doggy Brown first, and then they kind of see everybody and how good of a team this is.
Well, and both coaches this week were very honest with us and said, listen, they've done the work on the court, and now for a lot of these guys, they got to do the work off the court. I mean, there's a lot of tests coming up that they've got to do well on, so their futures are in their hands. Yeah,
once you qualify, then you're good to go, and then that talent can just soar and see where it goes.
North Charleston wins the tip, and we are underway. Rivalry game again. Just 8 miles separate these two schools, and what a start there. Deshaun Murray with the three.
Murray's kind of overlooked every once in a while because of Doggy, but if Deshaun Murray can start filling it up, and he's a natural scorer, that is huge for North Charleston.
And right away, we had a Will Lou Gray three-pointer by Deshaun Murray. Will Lou Gray is the premier school of its kind in South Carolina. Has been helping willing students build a better future for nearly 100 years. And Bennett loses it underneath. Looks like an early foul here on Burke.
There's North Charleston head coach Chris Brown. What an interesting story he is, and we'll get more into that during the game. But I was talking to Chris Brown on the phone this week, and I kind of said to him, "Hey, where did you come from to North Charleston?" And his response was Baghdad. Is Baghdad, Florida? No, Baghdad, Iraq. He was working as a government contractor overseas, was a longtime basketball coach before that, but he's got a very interesting tale we'll certainly talk about this evening.
Trenton Bennett at the free throw line for our Cruz Chevrolet first free throws of the night. Jumper two short. And the Cougars come away with it again. North Charleston 11-4, Burke 11-5.
Evenly matched teams. Both have played against tougher competition in the early season. North Charleston played in the Round Ball Classic. It doesn't get bigger than that here in the Low Country.
Planner has it stripped away. Thompson to the other end. Misses the layup. Put back is good.
Kelvin Allen, he's the guy that's cleaning the glass up there. He's the Windex man, and they need him to play big. You got to win the boards. You got to win the boards. Every shot's not going to go in, especially on a night like tonight where there's so many nerves. You got to win the boards.
Backside tip in by Doggy Brown. And a 5-2 lead early on here for North Charleston here in their home gym. Well, you couldn't even hardly find a parking spot out here tonight.
That's why you got to get here early to do the early news at 6 o'clock on ABC News 4. I was good to go. Got my spot in Park Circle, a prime position.
I showed up at 7 and I felt like I was too late. Layup missed by Brown underneath. And out of bounds is going to stay with the Cougars.
And they're still coming in. There's a large contingency of people that are still out in the lobby. They are still coming into this gym. I mean, both sides are filled from end to end, and it's a great gym for basketball.
And again, truly one of the great rivalries here in the state of South Carolina. Burke quickly back to the other end. Thompson lost it. And the Cougars trying to save it in the corner, out of bounds. It's going to stay with Burke.
There's Dion Richardson, the head coach of the Burke Bulldogs. Dion is a guy who's from the Low Country, from Mount Pleasant. As that ball bounces off. Dion from Mount Pleasant, but he grew up overseas. His mother in the military. He came back here to go to college, went to Charleston Southern, and has been coaching for about 10 years here in the Low Country now.
7-2 lead. Thompson with the Will Lou Gray three-pointer. Makes it a 2-point game.
Yep, he's the guy. Amazing. It seems like it was forever ago that Burke played in that state championship, and he was part of that team, but he was only a freshman now, but he's a senior leader. He was a freshman then, he's a senior leader now, and Dion Richardson really relies on him.
Burke quickly to the other end. Allen on the drive, contact, no whistle, tip won't go. Second effort is good.
It's Kelvin Allen again, getting to the boards, doing exactly what he needs to do as one of the taller guys. Not a ton of huge, tall guys on this on the court, but the guys who have the height have to use it.
And now a battle for it on the baseline. Jump ball, possession arrow will give it to the Bulldogs. Just underway here from North Charleston High School. Take a look at the replay there. Both players battling for it. For Burke, again, 11-5. They've won 2 straight, 6 of their last 8. Their only 2 losses were at Lexington and here at home against First Baptist. Allen too short. Rebound comes down to North Charleston. Here's Deshaun Murray, had the early 3-pointer. Tie game at 7.
Chris Brown says that Deshaun Murray is more of a natural scorer than Doggy Brown. He's just not as polished of a basketball player. Doggy's a little more polished, a little more basketball IQ, so he kind of takes Murray under his wing a little bit.
Nice pass across the lane and the finish.
One of the Hines brothers, Keon, right there. There's two K Hines on this team, Keon and Kendall. That was Keon.
Foul underneath, and that will bring us to our first media timeout. What a start here at Burke with a 2-point lead, 9-7. It's our Guy Roofing High School Hoops Game of the Week. And what a start to this one. Burke and North Charleston tied at 9. 3:47 to play, just underway here in the first quarter.
I'd say the intensity's been pretty good to start this thing, huh?
Absolutely. Burke in their road blue uniforms. North Charleston here in their home whites. And out of bounds, that'll give it back to the Cougars. I'll talk about the Bulldogs winning 2 straight, 6 of their last 8 for the Cougars. They've been on a roll here, Scotty. They've won 7 straight. And also had a big win earlier this season against Fort Dorchester on the road.
Yeah, Fort Dorchester, one of the better teams in the area this year. They've got plenty of talent, and just the talent pool that Fort Dorchester draws from, so impressive when North Charleston's a school that's, you know, hovering around 2A, 3A year in, year out. It depends the year whether they go up or down. And Fort Dorchester is one of the biggest 5A schools in our area when, you know, their talent pool is just so much bigger. For North Charleston to beat them is a huge accomplishment.
Nice kick-out pass. Murray a little bit too strong on the 3. And I think it actually might have hit one of the crossbars above the backboard. So that's going to give it to Burke.
There's Dion Richardson, one of the most respected coaches in the area. Just a very even keel. He's not a yeller, he's not a screamer, he's just very even keel, but he associates really well with the kids on the Burke Bulldogs. And I mean, heck, in his first 8 years, he's won 2 state championships. That speaks for itself.
Quick drive and a miss on the layup by Victor Goodwin into the game for the first time for Burke. North Charleston quickly back on the other end as Doggy Brown converts.
I think all you need to know about North Charleston, no matter where they are in the game, at what point in the game it is, they're never out of a game. They were down 24 points to stall in the second half of a game this year and came back and won the game. Big thanks to Doggy Brown, who went off. I think he had 35 that night, but I mean, he just went crazy, and they beat Stall.
Nice pass. Finished by Brown. Again, averaging 24 points per game.
Murray Garvin from SC State has already come in and offered him, and you know, I think he's the kind of guy that, you know, if his stock just, you know, blows up, I think Murray Garvin would like to be the first one in on him.
There's Ralph Holmes for the Cougars with that jumper on the baseline, makes it 13-9. And now out of bounds, that'll give it right back to North Charleston.
There's always something to be said about that first offer. You might get bigger ones, but you'll always remember that first offer you get. So Murray Garvin was in here early on Doggy Brown.
Whistle underneath, little hand check foul. It's going to go against Burke.
Cool little story about Nate Green. He was the guy that was just fouled for North Charleston, number 25. Nate Green's sister played in the WNBA, born here in North Charleston, went down to Texas to play her high school basketball, ended up playing for Penn State, and then played for the Connecticut Sun in the WNBA.
Holmes three, no good. Rebound down to Burke. Put up on the scoreboard, that was Keon Hines' second foul, so we'll keep our eye on that. Three-pointer too short. Goodwin with the rebound and the putback. Running back on the football team, so a ton of strength. Makes it a 2-point game. Holmes glides along the baseline. What a finish. Goodwin on the drive again, lost it. North Charleston comes away with it. Here's Murray.
Finally, one team slowing it down a little bit and setting it up. It's been so much run and gun up and down the court so far tonight.
Murray not shy to pull the trigger, averaging 22 points per game. And now Brown on the drive. Had it partially blocked. Second effort won't go. Bennett lost it. Mullane had it stripped away. And now Burke with numbers. Good pass across the lane. Won't go. Back the other way. Green misses the shot. Tip. Look out, Scotty.
Hello. That was almost a camera we lost there. Good thing we kept that camera. We can't afford new ones. Hey, it's still working. We still look beautiful in it.
And we were about this close to looking for a new sports director.
That's right. I'm built tough. What are you talking about? I'll tell you what, you know, it's been just run and gun all night long so far. And Dion Richardson, talked to him before the game. He said some of that is by design. He said, this game, they actually watch less film than any other games. He said these kids know each other so well. They've been playing playground basketball. They've been playing AAU. They've been playing since they were kids. They know each other so well. He doesn't want to bog them down with film. He just wants to let them enjoy the moment and play basketball tonight.
4-point lead for North Charleston. Want to cut into that lead, though, on the drive and score by Jenkins. Montrell Jenkins, just an 8th grader.
It says something to be playing an 8th grade. Burke.
Nice finish underneath. Evander Jones, 6'4", about 230.
It's really, I mean, the score obviously is close, but it's just been such an evenly played first quarter. No team seems to stand out right now as a team that's taking over this game. It's really just an evenly played up and down game. Fun basketball to watch.
Just under 16 seconds left here in the first quarter. Looks like Burke's going to try and hold for the final shot here. Hines drives and scores. 5 seconds left. They give it to Murray. 1 second left from half court. It's no good. And the first quarter in the books here from the campus of North Charleston High School. It's the Cougars on top of Burke. 17-15. And let's go to our Guy Roofing interview this week for our Guy Roofing Game of the Week.
Joined now by Zeke Martins from our title sponsor, Guy Roofing. We are talking basketball tonight, but you guys certainly have an extensive past with athletics, and it's not only basketball.
Oh, no, we started first off with the pigskin.
Yeah.
And it started at the highest level, at the pro level. We are the official roofers of the Carolina Panthers, and it's so exciting to see what that has done for us to be able to be a part of that, what it's done for our business, for the community. And so when the opportunity came about for the Low Country, serving this community and being part of the level of high school, but we just jumped that opportunity because let's remember this. No pro started by being a pro. They started at the high school level, on to college, and then to the NFL or NBA. So for us, this is a chance not just to give back, but to watch these young kids maybe have the chance to earn a scholarship. Go on to play college, and then go on to the NBA or the NFL. It's just exciting for us to be a part of this. And I got to tell you, when you see these kids getting excited to be on TV, and again, whether they're waving to their mom or smiling or jumping up and down, for some of these kids, this may be the only opportunity they get to be on TV. And it's just great to be a part of that.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It's a lot of fun to see these kids progress. Right now, we have a Low Country kid in the NBA, Chris Middleton, doing quite well, and we might have a couple more soon with Aaron Neesmith and Josiah James, both from Porter Gowd, projected as first-round picks. We will see what happens. That is Zeke Martins from Guy Roofing on our high school hoops spotlight.
Back at North Charleston, again a 17-15 lead, near steal by Goodwin. And now Brown with the finish on the other end. Second quarter just underway. It's our high school hoops game of the week, brought to you by Guy Roofing. Scoring continues back and forth. Kendall Hines with the finish. Guy Roofing, your trusted roofing contractor for 50 years, the Low Country's most trusted roofing company.
The feverish pace of play.
Absolutely.
It's hard to keep up with the feverish pace that they're playing. That's what kind of makes it fun. I'll tell you, a big part of Burke's guard play is drawn up by the guy sitting towards the end of the bench. That is Marcus Hammond, former College of Charleston Cougar. In the early Bobby Cremens years, he played with Andrew Goudlock and Tony White Jr. and Jeremy Simmons and all those guys. And Marcus Hammond really has taken the guards under his wing with this Burke Bulldogs team. And the nice thing for Dion Richardson, he said, I can kind of concentrate on my specialty and I hand off the guards to Marcus. And Marcus knows exactly what to do with the guards on this Burke team. And Marcus is a heck of a guard for the College of Charleston.
Goodwin fakes a three. Jump stop baseline, good pass across the lane. And the finish by Marquise Cummings. Boy, a lot of players now getting some time here for Burke.
Yeah, well, when you're playing at this speed, you have to get guys in the game. There's no way you can just kind of maintain that. Hello. I give it a 4.5 on the landing.
I was going to say, really good landing there by Cummings. He was way up there.
He tucked the head. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Nick Case is all over the replay. Hello. You know what? I think he just shook that one off. I think he took a face plant.
Three-pointer makes it 22-19. Another Will Lou Gray three-pointer here for North Charleston. Bennett lead pass to Murray.
This crowd wanted Murray to throw that one down. They were on their toes trying to get that one down.
Nice floater by Hines.
You know, speaking to these coaches this week, the pace of play, we knew the pace of play would be like this, but I don't think it really benefits either team. You know, it's not like, sometimes in a game, one team really needs to slow it down and kill some clock. Neither of these teams want to do that. They both want to run it, so it's just who's more athletic, who's faster, who's able to score more.
And to be honest with you out here, no one looks really tired.
No, I think part of that is the adrenaline that just hits you on a night like this.
Good inbound play. And Nate Green right there to bank it in. Back to a 5-point lead for the Cougars. Burke driving to the other end, and a foul underneath. And as you can hear, the North Charleston fans upset about that. It's going to go against Bennett. Looks like he might have slid past him, but Crew Chevrolet free throws coming up here for Marquise Cummings.
Cummings obviously shook off that face plant relatively well. He's doing all right. His nose is still on his face. All is good. I don't see any blood, so we're good to go. He's a big dude. He's a strong dude. So he violation.
Yeah, kind of a double pump there. Yeah, they list him at 6'1", 175.
He's every bit of 175.
Oh, yeah.
He's 175.
Yeah.
The 6'1" I buy. The 175 I'm not so sure about. And that's all muscle.
Timeout on the court. Just a 30-second timeout with just over 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And there you see again North Charleston with a 26-21 lead.
You know, a school like Burke, 1A, 2A, smaller school, so many of these guys have to play football. Some of them play baseball. There's not a whole lot of specialization. It's almost like the athletes have to play several sports to field teams. They just don't have the student population to keep up with some of those bigger schools. And, you know, it's just part of it. But a lot of these guys play football, which means they are well-conditioned once it gets to basketball season. The biggest issue is if football goes relatively deep, then they're missing the beginning of basketball season, which basketball coaches certainly don't enjoy that.
Brown, quick trigger from 3, in and out. Tipped, and North Charleston's going to keep it. No look pass on the baseline. Green has it blocked. And they're going to call a foul on Cummings. Nice no look pass underneath. And yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of body there on the contact by Cummings.
It's interesting with these, with these teams. A lot of it, they go to smaller schools, not tiny schools, but smaller schools. Oftentimes these kids want to go to 4A, 5A, bigger schools. They got to watch out for transfers. They got to watch out for their kids transferring out. Now, granted, they get some transfers because they're pretty good basketball schools. But you always got to watch and protect against kids transferring out. A good example of that was Burke High School. Probably their best athlete in the last 5-6 years was Adonicus Sanders. And when he became a big prospect, Adonicus Sanders transferred up to Fort Dorchester to play 5A ball, and now he's playing wide receiver for Georgia Tech. So it's tough when sometimes they get a really good athlete, those really good athletes find a bigger 5A school.
Step back 3 by Brown. Another Will Lou grade 3-pointer by Doggy Brown. And now an air ball, and Brown with the rebound. So basically what you're saying is transfer portal, high school style. Yeah,
this transfer portal, your family actually has to move. But, yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, guys like Brandon Shell, who's playing in the NFL now, started his career at West Ashley, ended up at Goose Creek because Goose Creek was in their heyday at that time. So it happens more than you see, but especially when there's a really good player at a smaller school, a lot of times they want to get the spotlight of a bigger school where they know there'll be some more college coaches coming around week in, week out. I guess the one thing working against that is now the AAU circuit, shows guys to college coaches, whatever level they're at.
Bennett at the free throw line for a Crew Chevrolet free throw. And all of a sudden a 9-point lead now for North Charleston. Another shot coming for Trenton Bennett, the senior forward, averaging a double-double this season. 13.5 points, 12 rebounds per game.
Trenton Bennett's such an important player to this team. He's kind of a tweener height-wise, but Chris Brown says he's just so important because he does so many things well. 4th year in the program, so he knows the program so well. He knows the systems well. And, he starts at the 4 because there's no playing time, for him kind of on the wing. He obviously, we could have a fast break here.
Layup missed, rebound down to North Charleston. So an opportunity there for Burke, but can't convert on the layup. Murray, too short on the three, follows his own shot, tries to save it, but it hit the baseline, so they'll give it back to the Bulldogs.
Amazing thing about Deshaun Murray, this you don't see every day. He's ambidextrous. He does his schoolwork with his left hand. He shoots with his right hand. You don't see. It's kind of like a pariah. I couldn't imagine shooting with my right and writing with my left, but he does it.
Well, he's known as a freak athlete, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and when he can do it with both hands too, yeah, I'd say that's next level.
Yeah, Chris Brown said that his run and gun style, he plays so well up and down the floor. The Citadel has been in watching him, and the Citadel likes him just for the style. I mean, that's the style that Duggar Bockham plays at the Citadel. They run and run and run and shoot and shoot and shoot. So he fits that style well, and I think if he qualifies at the Citadel, and it looks like he might, he's been doing very well in school, and Doggy Brown's been a big part of that. They've been working together in the classroom. You might see him end up at a place like the Citadel where they run.
Strong drive on the other end by Kyrie Thompson, who you featured back in the open, averaging 13 points per game. Makes it a 7-point game, under 4 minutes to play. Burke, another chance on the other end. Hines passes across the lane, and another layup, this one by Thompson. Makes it a 5-point game. Just moments ago, North Charleston had a chance to go by double digits.
Kind of figured this one would be played out to the fourth quarter. I didn't think we'd be killing time in a blowout for this game on TV.
Planter loses it. Back on the other end, Thorne lost it out of bounds.
He looked back. He didn't look straight at the basket and go for it. He kind of looked back, and it was almost like a trip.
Got a media timeout here from North Charleston. It's the Cougars on top by 5. It's our Guy Roofing High School Hoops game of the week. Alongside Scott Eisberg, I'm Jeff McCarriger. Thanks for tuning in tonight. What a game. 30-25, North Charleston on top. Just moments ago, it seemed like the Cougars, a couple chances to go up by double digits, but just like that, 2 buckets by Burke and back to a 5-point game. I guess that just goes to something you were talking about as we take a look at the Guy Roofing fan camp. Great crowd tonight is that, either one of these teams, they're so explosive, they got a chance to get right back into it even if they're trailing.
Yeah, no question about it. The guard play has been really good. They're up and down, and you could score quickly. Obviously, when you're running at that speed, you can give up points really quickly, but you could also score quickly and make up quite a few.
Technical foul as we went to break, by the way, so Kyrie Thompson with a couple of Cruz Chevrolet free throw opportunities now makes it a 3-point game. So a 7-0 run, making a 6-0 run right now by Burke. And they'll get the basketball. Got a chance to tie it here or make it a 1-point game. Thorne has it blocked. Rebound down to Murray.
Carlos Thorne reminds me a little bit he's not as big and he's probably not as fast, but Burke had a player who was just an absolute dominant player named Deljavon Simmons a couple of years ago.
Green with the layup.
And Deljavon Simmons, he signed actually to play football out of Burke with the Citadel. Ended up playing junior college basketball. Never played Division I, but he was one of the more dominant athletes ever at Burke. And they actually just made a documentary about him. Him and Sidney Sanders, two best friends from Burke, and they were, arguably the two best athletes ever at Burke.
Big-time collision, offensive foul underneath. That's going to give it back to the Bulldogs.
So they recently just screened this documentary over at the Terrace Theater, and it's who's better, Deljavon Simmons or Sidney Sanders. Sidney Sanders played Division I ball for Fairleigh Dickinson, scored over 20 a game for Fairleigh Dickinson up in New Jersey, but it was an interesting documentary, and Thorne kind of reminds me of Deljavon Simmons, that type of player.
Thompson in and out on the three. Murray back the other way. He launches a three. Off the back of the iron, rebound down to Burke. And out of bounds, it's going to stay with the Bulldogs. Actually a foul against North Charleston.
There's Dion Richardson. Learned under Earl Brown for a year. He said it was a great year for him. He had coached girls basketball at Baptist Hill, and then went on to coach under Earl Brown for a year before taking over for the legend, and it was just a huge learning experience for him, not only to learn how to coach at that level, but also to coach downtown Charleston, to associate with the kids. He was quote-unquote an outsider. He was from Mount Pleasant. He came downtown. Earl Brown lived in the area. I mean, he was with those kids all the time, so Dion said it's a big learning curve for him, but once he took over, he has just excelled and taken them to Columbia several times, and they've played up in the Chick-fil-A. They've played several of the big tournaments in the state, and when you win state titles, it just shows what you can do as because you can't do it all with talent. It has to be kind of honed and molded, and that's exactly what Dion did. And he's had some good players, but he's done a really good job with them. And he said the addition of Marcus Hammond's really been crucial for him as well with the guard play.
Well, another technical has been issued. This one goes against Burke. And you can see Dion Richardson extremely upset with that call. So Cruz Chevrolet free throws now for Doggy Brown.
I think when emotions and tempers are riding high at rivalry time like this, the refs do a good job calling the techs early so it doesn't get out of control later. You want to keep control of the game from start to finish.
Boy, you can tell he is hot right now. Been coaching at Burke since 2012. Of course, state champs in, 15 and 17?
15 and 17, yeah. And that was, those were, Sidney Robinson was the star of that 17 team. And that was just a really good team all around. And, I was up in Florence. When they won the lower state in Florence, they probably brought 4,000 or 5,000 people. It was unbelievable to see how many people were up in Florence for that lower state championship.
Look out here. Brown fakes it behind the back and lays it in.
Outstanding. I tell you what, Doggy Brown is fun to watch.
Block on the other end by Bennett. Burke able to keep it alive. And travel violation against the Bulldogs.
There we go. Look at that. Oh. That's just talent, I thought he was going to throw up the alley-oop, and he went with the little fake behind the back, and not going to get much better than that.
Murray buries the three. Makes it a 9-point lead again for North Charleston on another Will Lou Gray three-pointer. Under a minute left here in the first half.
Deshaun Murray could play anything from point guard to center, Chris Brown says. He said he'd be happy to play him at any position.
Good save underneath. Nice pass to Allen, who rolls it in. Five seconds left here in the first half.
I think if you're North Charleston, you really want to. There's something about that double-digit lead going into the locker room. Now, I don't know if it's safe tonight, but you want to. It's kind of comforting. It's a safety blanket to have that double-digit lead going into the locker room at the half.
Oh, battle for it, and the foul's going to go against Nate Green with just 23 seconds left.
Not sure about the lady in the sombrero there. I haven't figured out the costume for tonight yet, but it's a good look. I like it. I just haven't figured it doesn't match anybody else's costume tonight. But I like the lady in the sombrero. It's very, very colorful.
15 seconds left. And near steal. Ball still loose. And they are battling for it right here in front of us. And a foul is just called against North Charleston again. So they're going to pick up a couple of fouls here in the winning moments of this. It's going to go against Ralph Holmes.
Yeah, you feel like the intensity is there. It's so tense. There's so much of a rivalry. The refs are doing a good job just calling it tight, which is what you want to do, because once guys start scrambling on the floor, that's when it starts to get out of control. And Doggy Brown is about to put an exclamation point on it.
Right at the buzzer. Doggy Brown throws it down, and that makes an 11-point lead for North Charleston here at the break, 40-29. Boy, everything that we thought we were going to see, the explosiveness, the scoring, it's all been there here for Doggy Brown.
Yeah, it felt like the last couple minutes of the half, North Charleston finally pulled away a little bit, but a perfect time for halftime for the Burke Bulldogs. They can regroup, and that's what Deion Richardson does. He keeps his cool and helps his team regroup. You know, kind of makes a couple adjustments at the half as Chris Brown set to join us right now.
Again, North Charleston coming into tonight at 11-4, winners of 7 straight. And we're pleased now to be joined by the head coach, Chris Brown. Coach, you got us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations there on a good start here to this one, 11-point lead. You know, it got down there to what, about 2 or 3 points. What was the difference there in the last 2 minutes?
Just a change of pace. We sometimes burn a lot of fuel early on, and then it takes us a moment to get back going. So once we was able to get a few subs in and pick the pace back up, something we're used to.
Chris, Doggy Brown and Deshaun Murray doing exactly what you wanted them to do. They're filling it up. What do you tell them at the half?
Well, it all begins in the early parts of the season. I preach to these guys, hey, although you in North Charleston, I truly believe they are 2 of the top 2 guards in the state. So they play with a different confidence than a lot of guys do in high school. With the offense we run, anybody can take the shot at any time without looking at me, because we play so well together. They have a different confidence than a lot of other guys.
All right, so real quick, obviously you've had a chance to see Burke here in the first half. They doing anything different? I mean, I know you guys know each side pretty good, but what are the keys here in the second half?
Well, we're forced to play a little bit of zone. We noticed they wasn't making a lot of outside shots. So we're going to play a little bit more zone. Even though we don't like to play zone, we like to play man-to-man, push the pace. But we're going to try to take advantage of their post shooting.
All right, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
All right, that's Chris Brown, head coach for North Charleston, and the Cougars with a lead at 11, 40-29. Halftime show comes your way next here from North Charleston. welcome you inside the MUSC Youth Collaborative Halftime Report. MUSC Youth Collaborative leading the way in youth substance use services. For more information, text youth to 44332. That's 44332. Let's join Scott Eisberg, who is with our sponsor, Dr. Gray, from MUSC Youth Collaborative.
And good evening, everybody. Once again, MUSC Youth Collaborative joining our team to help put these broadcasts together. Thanks for being here, Dr. Erin McClure, Renee Roundtree. First of all, tell everybody a little bit about the collaborative.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the Youth Collaborative at MUSC is a group of clinicians and researchers, educators. We're really dedicated to fostering healthy development in adolescents. And so we offer clinical services, research opportunities, educational programs to address adolescent substance use. And we also want to encourage youth to get into the fields of science and medicine.
Absolutely. Renee, talk a little bit about what you do and how people can get involved.
So I'm a community outreach coordinator, and I develop partnerships with the community members and with our schools. So if anybody is interested in contacting us, they can call us at 843-792-9257, email at youth@musc.edu, or text youth to 44332. We're excited to work with you.
Talk a little bit about the response in the community and some of the results you see.
We've had many partnerships. We're partnered with 25 schools in the Low Country. We are partnered with a few of the larger events. We're excited to be a part of the STEM Festival and the Black Expo in March. And so we're really excited to extend our resources within the community.
How important, Doctor, is this for kids in our community?
Oh, it's so important. So we really want to prevent substance use in the first place. But for those who are struggling with substance use, we want to give them the opportunity to get treatment and also to contribute to science so we can better understand substance use.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for being part of our team.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Well, tonight's trophy and plaque will be provided by RKO Total Graphics in downtown Charleston, and we thank them for their support. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Writers Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $2,500 scholarship at the end of the season. Over the past 3 years, David Ayler Law Offices have given over $17,000 in scholarship money to local high school students from around the Low Country. Tonight's scholar athletes are Kelvin Allen for Burke High School with a GPA of 3.68. Obviously a basketball player we've seen tonight. Played basketball for 12 years, has been the varsity boys basketball team for the last 2 years. Plays forward and center. And for North Charleston, Kavacia Johnson with a 4.4 GPA, also a basketball player. North Charleston Women's Athlete of the Year back in the 17-18 season, three-time team MVP. And Region 6 2A Co-Women's Basketball Player of the Year. So again, congratulations to Kelvin Allen and Kavacia Johnson, our high school hoops scholar athletes of the week. Again, an 11-point lead for North Charleston here at halftime, 40-29. And welcome back inside the MUSC Youth Collaborative halftime report. MUSC Youth Collaborative leading the way in youth substance use services. For more information, text youth to 44332. All right, let's join Scott Eisberg with our sponsor, Margaret Stipa from David Ayler Law Offices and Writers Law Group.
Joined now by Margaret Stipa from the Ayler Law Firm. Each and every year, David Ayler and his law firms, they present the Scholar Athlete Award. $5,000 for football now, $2,500 for basketball. Why is David so generous with the money for these scholarships?
We've been a part of Friday Night Rivals now for a couple years, and we just love presenting that check at the end of the season. So now we're really excited to do that.
I guess
February.
The cool thing about it is we're not giving it to the best athlete. We're giving it to the best student athlete, and that encompasses a whole lot more kids. I guess it's fun for you guys to see those resumes that come in.
Right. It's great because it's not only looking at academics and not only looking at athletes, it looks at them as a whole, as students and athletes and what they do in the community. So it's great to look at them in that aspect.
Yeah, the community part is so cool because these kids are doing everything from, leading churches and leading mission trips. They do everything. So it's really fun to present them with that check, and we'll do it at the end of the season?
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
Sounds good. That is Margaret Stipa from the Ayler Law Firm. We are talking Scholar Athletes here for high school hoops.
And we'll send you our final break, 40-29 North Charleston. Back with second half action right after this. Back on the campus of North Charleston High School. And there you see the Cougars with the lead by 11, 40-29. This is actually what's got about a 3-point game. Burke had a chance to tie it or make it a 1-point game, and all of a sudden North Charleston finished on a big run.
Yep, and North Charleston got that exclamation point going into the half. Doggy Brown throwing up a dunk to beat the buzzer, and that was his 17th point of the first half, and it's exactly what we said was going to happen with North Charleston. Deshaun Murray and Doggy Brown would lead the way, and they scored 25 of the 40 points in the first half.
Near steal ends up in the hands of Murray, and he picks up right where he left off back in the first half with a 3-pointer.
And now Murray's got 11, and if you're Burke, you don't want him to catch fire. 14-point game now, you really got to get back in it.
Jumper on the other end, good by Ramel Bell. That 3-pointer by Murray, another one, another Will Lou Gray 3-pointer. Will Lou Gray is the premier school of its kind here in South Carolina. Been helping willing students build a better future for nearly 100 years. That's Will Lou Gray. Almost another one there.
Yeah. If Burke's going to make a run, that's the guy who's got to help them do it, Kyrie Thompson. When they played in the Porter Goud Phenom Showcase, which showed many of the top teams in the area, top players in the area, more than our area, but our state and Georgia, North Carolina. He was the MVP, scored 23 points in that final game, and he's kind of a shooter, a scorer. He does it all, and that's how he could take their game to the next level. If he could score and do, he's already a leader, but if he could score on top of really leading, then that takes Burke to a whole new level.
Crew Chevrolet free throws on the way here by Trenton Bennett. Bennett again averaging a double-double. Having to play the center position, as Coach told us during the week, just because there's just no room for him on the wings.
Yeah, you want to get them on the court. When you have good players, you want good players to play. And if you're a good coach, you find a way. You can't, in high school basketball, you can't just have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got to be creative. You have to get guys on the court who can help you win. If he has a player who's better than somebody on Burke, then you've got to get him on the court, whatever position it is.
Here's still, but Thompson hangs on to it. Jumper from the elbow, no good. Rebound down to Brown. 12-point lead now for North Charleston, the largest lead of the night. Brown guarded by Thorne. Here's Murray again. These two players, you see number 15 and then Doggy Brown averaging about 45 points per night between the two of them. Murray tries and scores.
And the two of them, not only are they two best players, they're absolute best friends. Chris Brown said they see each other as brothers. They look out for each other. They work together in the classroom. They've played basketball together forever. And so the two of them are closer than close. And that certainly helps when your two best players are that close on and off the court. I'm sure they're talking plenty of basketball when they're doing that homework in the library. I know that when I was doing the library thing, which wasn't very often, I talked plenty of sports. The old trick with the headphones up your sleeve, and then you keep your hand on your ear.
On the old Walkman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I remember those days.
It was a great trick.
Strong finish underneath by Nate Green, and North Charleston really taking control of this one right now.
Yeah, North Charleston's playing well. Nate Green he's just a big, powerful kid. Like we said earlier, his sister played in the WNBA. Three-pointer there for Keon Hines, one of the Hines brothers. But Green he's got the lineage, but he's also a transfer from Fort Dorchester, so he has some experience playing at a bigger school level. He came over to North Charleston and is doing a nice job fitting into this starting lineup.
Well, after the shots by Burke, a timeout by the Bulldogs. Take a look at this last shot to make it a 13-point game. Another Will Lou Gray three-pointer. This one by Keon Hines, as Scott just said. You know, that's interesting. It's something that Dion told us during the week. You know, as much as we talk about offense all the time and some big numbers, obviously for a guy like Kyrie Thompson, he's like, listen, we need him on defense.
Right.
As much as offense when you're playing North Charleston. I mean, he knew that was going to be the key, is how do you slow down the Cougars?
Yep, you have to. There's some way you have to do it. Now, Keon Hines takes a seat on the bench, but Keon Hines, he's only a sophomore. He's playing good basketball. He's only started 3 games this year, but now he's inserted in the starting lineup in the biggest game of his career so far because it's against the rival. So a lot of confidence Dion Richardson showing in Keon Hines. Helps when his brother's a little older and on the team as well.
Foul's going to go on Carlos Thorne. He fouled Brown.
It's funny, so many backyard battles between the Hines brothers. Dion says you can really interchange them in the lineup. They're the same player. They're very similar in what they do on the court, their style of play and what they do well. It's, you know, they kind of came up playing together. They know each other from one-on-one.
Burke trying to get something going on the other end. Shot missed. Rebound down to Bennett. Trying to force a pass underneath, tipped away. Thorne lost it underneath. And Cummings able to keep it alive, draws the foul. 47-34, hard to believe again, just before halftime. I'd say maybe 2 minutes left in that first half. Burke had the basketball, down only 3.
Yep, got up to 14 now, and now it's 13? My math, I am a journalism guy. Math is not coming easily to me.
But you were just talking about all those times in the library.
You don't do math homework in the library. The big thing when we were in school, and in my senior year of high school, we finally got internet. That was a big deal. We got internet at the school, so the library was the place you can go and play games. It was awesome. I was very, very happy as a low B student.
Now a just misses bounces off, and Bennett with another rebound. Again, Bennett averaging a double-double, 13.5 points, 12 rebounds. Takes it all the way to the other end, leaves it short, rebound by Thorne. Foul now by Bennett.
No question there was contact there. Some of the fans behind the bench are not happy and yelling. Chris Brown's giving a piece of his ear, but I think there was contact there behind the midcourt stripe.
Open look at a three, too short. Bennett had his hands on it, had it ripped away, and a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with the Cougars.
Talk about North Charleston head coach Chris Brown. We started talking about him in the first half, but what an interesting guy and an interesting story. He's coached college ball at Morris College in Sumter. He's coached high school. He coached AAU. He worked as a mortgage banker. He was a government contractor in Iraq. It's an unbelievable story that's led him all the way to North Charleston. But a great part of the story is that his top assistant, we'll get to the story after break. Nick's telling us go to break. We're going to go to break because the story's a little longer than 7 seconds.
47-34. North Charleston with the lead. Welcome back to North Charleston High School, our Guy Roofing High School Hoops game of the week. It's our Guy Roofing fan cam, and they're having fun here at this one tonight. 13-point lead for North Charleston, 47-34. Alongside Scott Eisberg, I'm Jeff McCarriger. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks to our entire ABC News 4 crew behind the scenes tonight.
Do a great job in the truck week in, week out. Same crew we have for football. They got through 10 football games. Now they're getting through 2 basketball games. We got 4 more on the docket. So needless to say, we're keeping them busy, and they're doing a heck of a job trying to make us look good on TV.
You made history last week while you're off playing around in New Orleans.
I know. I think the actual night of your broadcast, I think I was in Gulfport, Mississippi, but I was tuned in on Facebook. Don't you worry. I checked out you and Dean Stevens on the call.
For those who don't know, Scott's such a dedicated newsman here in the Low Country. Drove all the way out to New Orleans to cover the national championship game.
We did. We flew to Arizona, thankfully, but we did drive to New Orleans. A good road trip. Greg Brzezowski and I had a good time. On the way home, we stopped in Kiln, Mississippi, home of Brett Favre. Made our pilgrimage to the home of Brett Favre. I love Brett Favre. He hates him. So it was a torture for him.
Another technical foul. And again, you can see Deion Richardson really upset. He was talking to the officials during the break as well.
Oh, he called it on.
Yeah, against, I think it's Victor
Goodwin, yeah. If you're Burke, I mean, I understand letting your frustration show, but you don't want to put points on the board for North Charleston because at this, we're a 13, 14-point game with only 11 minutes left. You remember, it's only 8-minute quarters in high school basketball, so you don't want to give them, you don't want to hand them points for nothing. It's one thing to put them at the line if they're driving and they're going to score anyway, but you don't want to put them at the line with a technical foul.
A couple of misses there on the Cruz Chevrolet free throw attempts by Holmes. So the game stays a 13-point game, 47-34. Lob underneath to Bennett and floats it in. Quickly back on the other end, a block by Bennett. Well, as much as we've talked about Doggy Brown and Deshaun Murray, Trenton Bennett's having a heck of a game.
Yeah, he really is. He's playing very well, and he's the guy that he's kind of that fill-all. You know, he doesn't have a position on the team. He doesn't start every game. He's kind of the sixth man, but when he needs to fill in, he does a really nice job filling in, and it shows with his numbers. You know, a double-double a game. You can't get much better than that for a sixth man.
Well, again, third quarter action, and we're pleased to be joined now with the principal here at North Charleston High School, Henry Darby. Henry, you got us?
Yes, sir. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. So far, so good. 15-point lead looks pretty good right now.
It does, sir. I have a type of dual experience. Burke High School is my first level where I first began, and now I'm present here at North Charleston High School, but I have to say with all veracity, go Cougars.
You're a Charleston County man. We'll call you
Yes,
a Charleston County man. What's going on here at North Charleston High School? What's going on in these hallways, in these classrooms that you're proud of?
Well, let me tell you, basically we are changing the culture of North Charleston High School. If you come to our classroom hallways, you don't see kids with earbuds and hoodies. Our graduation rate has gone from 59.6 to 76.6 in 2 years. Last year we only had 2 students taking dual enrollment. This year 27. And most importantly, in terms of the state report card, we are no longer on the unsatisfactory list. So we are doing some great things here at North Charleston. My teachers are doing extremely well.
I think we should tell Miss Postlewaite to give you a raise. Tell them, cut him a bigger check. That's a heck of a job you're doing.
Yes, sir. We're doing some great things here. But a shout out to my teachers. But this is a great game. It's a great game.
What does this rivalry mean to you? I mean, you're a Charleston County guy, been part of it on both sides. It's just so intense. What does it mean to you?
Well, it simply means that we can come together, play as a type of positive rivalry, and become a term of one as a family. But it's just a good game altogether. 2 groups in terms of opposite parts of the town will come together and say we're going to play some hoops.
We got a heck of a head coach in Chris Brown.
Yes, sir.
We've really enjoyed talking to him this week.
He's a good one.
Great job with your program.
He's a good one. Thank you so very much, sir.
Talk about head coaches. What did it mean to you to honor Earl Brown tonight?
My goodness, man. That's a legend.
Yeah.
They don't come any better. For a man of his standard and stature to win over 757 games.
Unbelievable.
That's just says something all about itself, man. Earl Brown is a great man.
And then you throw his football wins on there.
Oh, gosh. That's it.
The guy's done nothing but win over his career.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But this is a good game tonight.
That's a heck of a block by Doggy Brown right there.
Again, talking with Henry Darby of North Charleston High School. Well, you got a moment. How about the other programs? We got a chance to watch the women's program here tonight as well.
Yes, sir. The girls, we have a number of stars there. We have one young lady at USC looking at her, Winthrop and other places. But, no, we have an outstanding athletic program here. And we're just trying to get our academics on par, and we are moving forward with that. But again, it's a great program here at North Charleston High School.
No more Attaway Hinson Field across the street. So where are you going to play this year? What's the game plan for football?
Well, there's going to be a type of field behind the stadium where we all will meet, and each school will have an opportunity to play, select a certain afternoon or a certain evening to play.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
so there's making a plan. That's one of the older stadiums we had here.
Yes,
but,
yes,
it
indeed.
sounds like there's a good plan in place, which is nice. Because North Charleston football has had a great tradition as well over the years.
Yes, indeed.
The latest NFLer, Corey Washington, I know he still keeps his eye on the Cougars. He's very proud to have gone to North Charleston High School.
Still a 14-point game. What a battle underneath by both sides. Well, Henry, you know, something that both coaches told us during the week that is so important. North Charleston has such great talent on the court, and Chris has been so proud of the guys working hard, as Dion has on the Burke side as well. But they really stressed about how much work the guys have to do in the classroom and how important that is. He said guys have got to start figuring out before it's too late how important that is.
Yes.
And you seem like just the guy to be able to speak to that.
Well, let me tell you, my coaching staff is mandated that all the athletes, they are tutored Tuesday and Thursdays of each week. That's mandatory. That is something that they have to do because we definitely put academics over athletics, sir. and they're coming along, and we're trying to have as fewer failures as possible and as fewer suspensions and things of that nature. So it's just a combination of getting together and working together with academics and athletics.
How much pride do you take when you see a kid go from a D or an F to a C or a B? Or I mean, is that what you go to bed at night saying we did something right?
It's just exhilarating. It's just exhilarating, and this may be sound perhaps good and bad, but last year I had a student who failed all of his core courses, but yet he made 1,100 on the SAT.
Wow.
So, but this year he's doing much better with the courses. So, yes, sir, it's a great feeling, particularly when we know these kids can do better than what they have been doing. And also, but there's a perception still of North Charleston High School. But once we get that out of the way, sir, really, it's a great school as it is.
Well, the kids need leaders. I think I've got one of those kids at my house.
Really now?
Yeah. Does great on the test.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the year, it's a little difficult
sir.
sometimes.
Yes, sir.
I've got a 2-year-old at home. If you want to take care of her behavior issues,
goodness.
I'll bring you in as well.
Yes,
we can't contain the 2-year-old right now. Our 6-year-old is good.
Oh, my.
2-year-old's a little tough.
Again, we're talking with Henry Darby here of North Charleston High School. You can see the score there, 52-41. All of a sudden, a little bit of a ball game, and you know this. I mean, you've been following basketball for a long time, and Scott knows this too. This game is far from over.
Oh,
yes. Still a minute left, and we know how the swings that can happen between these two schools.
It could happen because we were playing RB Stall, I think, last week, and they were up 21 points.
Yes.
And here come the Cougars. They come back, so you never can tell that swing could come.
It's always good when it's a rival, too. You know, Stall and North Charleston old rivals, and North Charleston Burke old rivals. Now Stall's kind of moved up to the 5A ranks, but it's nice when you're a smaller school and you can knock off a 5A school. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Coach Branco's doing a great job. I mean, to defeat 4A schools, and we are 2A, I mean, that says something about the program.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch, and Coach Breedlove up at Stall is doing a great job. Really, all of the Charleston County schools have done a really nice job, and it's on the rise. They've got some great academic programs and great athletic programs as well, and that's fun to see in Charleston County.
Yes, indeed.
Henry Darby, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so very much, sir.
That's
thank
great.
you so very much.
Fun.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes,
Great
indeed.
to have you
Have
on.
a great
Great to meet you.
Indeed.
Again, Henry Darby here at North Charleston High School doing a terrific job, and happy for the moment here with his team on top by 11 as Doggy Brown draws the foul. What a great guy to talk to.
Yeah, he was awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he was great. Very professorial, but funny. He was great. I like Henry Darby a lot, for sure. And he's done a heck of a job. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
First Chevrolet free throw bounces out here by Brown. 42 seconds left here in the third quarter. Again, still an entire fourth quarter to come.
Tell you what, it's getting hot in this gym. There's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of yelling, a couple technical fouls. It's getting hot in here.
Near steal, but Thompson stays with it. On the follow, can't get it to go. Tip won't go. Burke stays with it, and Goodwin can't get it to go. Another tip and a foul on Goodwin. Boy, Goodwin, I mean, he is a fighter. Again, if you're just tuning in, he's a running back on the football team.
Can't be more than 5'5", 5'6", and he was in there with the trees down low. You got to give him credit because he's absolutely fearless under there, and that's part of the battle. You got to have somebody that's fearless, and he certainly is.
He's like, man, in football, I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I do that? How can you call it a foul?
It's funny, I'm looking over his shoulder right there on the screen. The guy by the door is the former head coach of North Charleston, Tron Grant, is in the gym watching some of his former players. So that's kind of cool to see him over there and checking out some guys that he had a hand in coaching.
30-second timeout on the court. We'll keep it right here. Again, North Charleston with a 52-41 lead. Thanks for tuning in tonight for our Guy Roofing High School Hoops Game of the Week. Rivalry game. Again, just 8 miles separate these two schools, and not only is this a long-standing rivalry, as Scott's talked about, of course we just heard about from Henry Darby, but both teams are terrific. The Cougars 11-4, Bulldogs 11-5. As we take a look at some of the highlights, here you see number 1, Doggy Brown. You talked about him back in the open, and Deshaun Murray, his teammate, They average 45 points per game, but boy, Doggie's been terrific tonight.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch. That play at the end of the first half when he kind of went backwards and faked the pass behind the back and went up with it was great, and had the dunk to beat the buzzer. I mean, he's a fun player to watch, and he's one that I'm excited to watch if he ends up playing Division I basketball. He's the kind that could blossom, and he's a natural scorer. That's what he does. And you know, those guys, it's you know, you need scorers on teams, and you like fun, up-tempo basketball. He's a guy that does exactly that.
Cruz Chevrolet free throws here for North Charleston. Nate Green, the senior forward, transfer from Fort Dorchester at the free throw line. And the left-hander sinks the second one, and the lead is back to 12.
Amazing. We've had 2 WNBA players from the Low Country, and they both have the last name Green. Nikki Green, his sister, and Kalena Green, who played for UConn and played a bunch of years in the WNBA as well.
I think there was another Green who might have played football around here.
Yeah, this guy named AJ
good, right?
was Adriel James, and as Nick Hayes says, he won it. You know, he won a state championship, and it was probably the most memorable moment I've had in 13 years covering sports in the Low Country when Somerville won the state title in basketball. Yep. They were playing for the fallen firefighter Louis Mulkey, who had died, and he was one of their coaches. And it was a 70-foot shot for Spartanburg, Zachorian Robinson, and it went in. And then they called it after the buzzer, and Somerville got the win. It was unbelievable.
Another battle for it as the buzzer sounds. Jump ball, possession arrow to Burke, so it looks like the Bulldogs will have it when we come back. Fourth quarter comes your way next here from North Charleston. It's a 53-41 lead for the Cougars. North Charleston with a 12-point lead here at home, looking for their 12th win of the season. They've won 7 straight. Burke trying to hang in there. Jumper good by Montrell Jenkins.
That's what you got to do. You just got to chip away at that lead. And the big thing is you got to realize whatever happens in this game, you're going to have all the pride in the world tonight if you win it. But this is not going to win your championship. It's not going to win your region. You just have to take it as a game. And I know it means more, but you can't let one loss beat you a couple times down the road. And that's what both of these coaches have to know. This counts for one win. And it's a big rivalry win, but it is one win in the standings.
Foul on Holmes for North Charleston. And again on the floor. Another battle for it. Several players down there. Looks like we got a foul on this one.
Ref definitely has his hand up. There's a foul.
It's Nate Green who's finally up on the bottom of that pile. Foul on J.D. Powell for Burke.
I think Deion Richardson's face tells the story on that one. He does not agree with that foul. There's Chris Brown. So the story I started about 2 quarters ago about Chris Brown. Love this story. So, you know, he comes back from the Middle East, finds this North Charleston job, sees it as kind of a rebuild job, and that's what he likes to do, is rebuild. He likes doing rebuild jobs. So he takes the job, doesn't have an assistant coach. So he's up in Somerville, and he's out shopping one day, and he happens to bump into Michael Gilbert, who is his youth coach at the Boys and Girls Club of Sumter. They hadn't seen each other in all these years. Michael Gilbert had retired to Somerville. Chris Brown says, "You're going to be my assistant coach," and that's his assistant coach sitting right behind him. That was actually his youth coach at the Boys and Girls Club of Sumter, and he said it's awesome. He can do everything, and the best part is he's retired. He's free all day, so he can tell him to do anything all day, and he's got him at his beck and call, so it works out absolutely perfect for him.
Burke trying to get back into this one. A 3-pointer by Montrell Jenkins. And look at this. All of a sudden, an 8-point game. And a big Will Lou Gray 3-pointer. There's another one, an answer by Ralph Holmes.
Wow.
Too short. Strong rebound. Putback won't go. Burke keeps it alive. And a foul against North Charleston.
This situation, you got to hit your free throws. You cannot miss free throws when you're trying to chip back into a game, and you've got a couple of free throws. You can get points where, you know, time isn't ticking off the clock. You got to hit them.
Jenkins on to one end, and then Holmes with the answer. There it is for the corner. And now big free throws, as Scott just said here, for Kendall Hines. Trying to make it a 10-point game, and he does. Boy, he has been battling tonight like he's playing this game, Dion.
Yeah, he really has. It's a good-looking suit, though. You don't want to get that suit too. You know what? Both coaches, beautiful looking. I love Chris Brown's tie. I like the sneakers with the suit look on Dion Richardson. I'm going to give them both like A+ for style. I'm a big fan of both of these coaches' style. I'm not as big a fan of coaches that wear like the quarter zip pullovers. I like the full suit look.
Holmes again from the corner. No good. Rebound. Murray, no. Saves it, though.
Murray's had a quieter second half, but he's coming up big when you need him right now.
Skip pass again. Holmes open in the corner and hits this one. Another Will Lou Gray 3-pointer by Ralph Holmes.
And the irony of this comeback, not Doggy Brown, not Deshaun Murray. It's another weapon out there, and that, you know, when you're concentrating on two guys, that one's going to be wide open in the corner, and there he is. And there's Henry Darby. He was pumped about that one. Our principal, he's over by the door. He was excited about that three. Gave him a big fist pump.
Holmes, a junior. Now here's Thorne on the other end of the free throw line. Cruz Chevrolet free throws. Here for Burke. I'll tell you what, credit the Bulldogs. They are really hanging in there. Chance to make this a 10-point game again. They're able to cut it down to 8 moments ago, but then back-to-back threes by Holmes.
Really, just the atmosphere was outstanding. And, you know, this has always been a great gym for basketball. It's good lighting in here, and I like the upper deck, lower deck seating. It just is a good gym for high school basketball, and when you put rivalry basketball and this much intensity in this gym, it works out perfectly.
Thorne, the first time and second time missed, third time was the charm. Head back to single digits here, 9-point game. Murray, though, quickly down the other end, loses it. 3-pointer, no. Rebound North Charleston. Holmes lost it out of bounds, but that's because he's fouled by Hines.
North Charleston's in the 1-and-1 right now. One more foul, and they're in the double bonus, and that really would help out North Charleston when it comes down to fouls here at the end of this one. But they'd like to keep this double-digit lead, and so there's no fouling at the end. You don't have to worry about that.
So here's Ralph Holmes, who just had the back-to-back threes. Gets out when it bounces in. Another Cruz Chevrolet free throw coming up here for Holmes, the junior. Too strong, and Burke with the rebound.
Chris Brown calls Ralph Holmes a pure shooter. He said if he took 10 three-pointers, he'd hit 8 of them, hand in the face or not. He is just a lights-out, pure shooter for North Charleston. But Burke looking pretty good with a 3 right there from Kendall Hines.
Makes it a 7-point game. Jenkins misses it. Putback is good. Hines makes it a 5-point game.
Well, Jeff, we've got some good rivalry basketball on TV tonight.
You knew this one wasn't over yet.
Yeah.
Foul underneath. It's going to be charged against Kelvin Allen. 5:04 left to play.
Nice take there for Rico Planter. Fearless going up for the bucket, getting fouled, getting to the line. Just as good as scoring.
The lead was as much as, what, 16, 17 points? First one's good.
I think it was 14 in the first half, got up to a 17 in the second half, and it's whittled down now to 6.
In and out for Planter. Rebound by Allen. Speed of court to Hines. Takes a 3.
He's feeling it.
Kendall Hines makes it a 3-point game. Layup on the other end, rolls in by Murray.
And if he didn't go up with it, he had Ralph Holmes wide open in the corner again right there.
2-pointer blocked by Murray. Great defensive play by Murray. Now Brown on the other end. Can't get it to fall, gets his own rebound and a foul. No, they're going to say jump ball. It'll be Cougar basketball. Well, he knew this one wasn't over. And so did Chris Brown. 5-point game, 4:23 left to play. No look pass into the corner. 3-pointer is good. Murray hits another one.
Tell you what, as Doggy Brown has quieted down a bit, Murray, Holmes have really stepped up and played some really good basketball and hit some big shots for North Charleston, getting the lead back out to 8.
The Will Lou Gray 3-pointers are flying in everywhere. What a drive by Doggy Brown.
As we say that.
Thorne fouled from behind by Rico Planter. That'll bring us to a media timeout with 3:47 left to play. This one, everyone expected this. Hines with the jumper. Here's another 3. And now 69-59, North Charleston. Carlos Thorne at the free throw line here for the Burke Bulldogs. Trying to make this single digits again. They're able to cut it down to as few as 3 after trailing by as many as 17. Thorne can't get it to go. Might have a violation. Yeah, it looks like a lane violation against North Charleston, so Thorne's going to get another shot out of here. And the Coos Chevrolet free throw bounces out. Another whistle. And again, a lane violation.
Wow. Got to play a little more discipline late in a game like this. You got a nice lead. There's no reason to continue to give him free throws. And both of these coaches are good coaches. They'll certainly explain that to their teams. You got to play smart, disciplined basketball. The thing I love about both of these coaches too is they're both South Carolina natives. They're both guys who really genuinely care about kids in the state. And there's nothing better than that. They're guys who have stayed in state. They're, one's from Mount Pleasant, one's from Sumter, and they've stayed here and made a career out of this. And that's always fun to see guys who are kind of homegrown succeed.
Strong drive in the middle by Nate Green, who draws the foul.
And we've got some wonderful coaches in our area. Ronnie Dupree over at West Ashley he's a legend. He just got his 600th win. He's a South Carolina native. Lake Hall up at Goose Creek has taken them to a state championship. He's from right up in Somerville. And so a lot of homegrown coaches, which is awesome for basketball in our area because they genuinely care about it.
And speaking of our area and Goose Creek, I think, isn't that, I think next.
It's James Island Goose Creek next week, correct?
Yeah, James Island Goose Creek next week, yeah.
James Island and Goose Creek are both teams that have made deep runs in the playoffs over the past couple of years. Stan Wilkins over at James Island does a great job year after year. And he's got a new assistant on his staff, Brady Shuck, one of the best players ever there, who went on to play at Furman and is now back coaching with Stan Wilkins. And Brad Dobbins used to be the coach of Goose Creek. Blake Hall took over for him, and he's a former North Charleston head coach.
Long three misses badly. Here comes Doggy Brown quickly back the other way. Takes it all the way, but misses it. Thorne to Hines with the finish. And again, back to single digits. 70-61.
Hines has played an outstanding fourth quarter.
Yeah, Hines and Holmes have been two of the big stars in the second half for either squad. Raise the Roof fan cam brought to you by Guy Roofing. A lot of dancing and stomping going on in this one. It's been fun.
It turned into karaoke that last break, and both you and I said, we are getting old, Jeff. We are getting old. Yeah. I think you're already 40. I'm pushing 40, and we didn't know the new songs that are on the radio these days, but everybody else knew the songs. We were well out of date on that.
I was just pretending to work. I don't know what you were doing. I was pretending to update my stats.
That's right, exactly. I gave up keeping stats in the first quarter.
We could sing if we wanted to. We're too busy working.
You played drums, aren't you in a rock band?
I was.
You are? Yeah, I knew that. I play the radio.
Murray to inbound here for North Charleston. Murray misses it. Rebound to Burke. Another opportunity here. 3 minutes left to play, down to single digits. Going to have our Roper St. Francis player of the game coming up. Three-pointer won't go. Brown with the rebound. To Murray. Just couldn't get the handle on it. Loses it out of bounds to Burke. So Bulldogs again with another opportunity, down 9. Again, they've been able to get it to, what, about 3? But haven't been able to get over the hump yet.
I would say if you can keep it within 9, once it gets to double digits, it's really hard to make that final 90-second comeback. But if you keep it in single digits, the three-pointer is a game changer in the game of basketball. You can hit a couple quick threes, especially these teams that shoot the ball pretty well. You never know what will happen.
Jim Valvano used to always say, under 10, under 10.
Yeah.
If you can cut it to under 10, and just keep it at single digits, just like you said, it's just such a, mentally, it's just,
There's
looks better.
A huge difference, yep.
And now down to 8 on the Cruz Chevrolet free throw by Kendall Hines. Boy, again, Kendall Hines, the junior for Burke, and Ralph Holmes, the junior for North Charleston, have been critical here in this second half. Much as we've talked about some of the other offensive stars.
Deion Richardson said Kendall Hines is one of the elite offensive players in the low country. He's just got to work on his defense. You know, defensively, he could be a liability at times, but offensively, he is not. And he's showing that here in the fourth quarter.
Bennett lost it, but Murray comes up with it. And Holmes now loses it out of bounds in the corner. So an 8-point game. Burke's going to get it back. 2:16 left to play.
This is also where you want to lean on Doggy Brown just because of his basketball IQ. He's calm. He knows what to do in these situations. He's almost like a coach on the court. He's a guy you want to lean on in this kind of a situation. 2 minutes left, up 8 points against your rival. And certainly being at home helps North Charleston in this situation. Although I would say the crowd is pretty much split 50-50 Burke-North Charleston.
Yep.
Like it's, you know, only 8 miles. It's not a big deal in between the two. You know, it's a lot bigger deal in college basketball than in high school basketball.
Yeah, with about 5 or 6 minutes left when Burke made that big run. You're right. The other side of the gym was loud.
Yes.
Makes it a 7-point game. Kyrie Thompson, another Cruz Chevrolet free throw, and this one big. Missed it off to the left. He knew it as soon as it left his hand. Murray with the rebound. Splits the double team, and now numbers for North Charleston. Murray all the way. Short, tip. No. Rebound down to the Bulldogs. Murray had his hand on it, and a foul. It's going to go against Deshaun Murray.
Now both teams are in the double bonus. It'll be 2 shots all the way, the rest of the way. 7-point game could get down to 5 right now. We've got a tight ball game with 2 minutes to go. A 5-point game if he can knock both of these down.
Ramel Bell, we have not mentioned his name much tonight, averaging 11 points per game, almost 6 rebounds per contest. Makes the first.
Now, you know, Burke is a team that, you know, they're not going to get scared off by the moment. They've played in moments like this. It's not going to faze them. But you do want to hit your free throws.
Lead is 6. Bennett lost it out of bounds. And the official in the corner said he couldn't see it. So it's called by the official who's probably furthest from the action. They're going to say Burke basketball, and Chris Brown is livid. Under 2 minutes left to play. Bounce pass, good one in the drive, and scores.
Well, this is what you waited for. 4-point game now. That point guard, running back, tough guy mentality, going right to the hoop, getting the bucket, and that's a big bucket right there. Dougie Brown kind of questioning what's going on right now. We need to rally the troops, calm down a little bit, and get back to the North Charleston basketball they were playing for about 30 minutes of this game.
4-point game here from North Charleston High School. And again, join us next Friday night, 8:30, for a Guy Roofing High School Hoops game of the week. Goose Creek on the road to take on James Island.
Cool thing about the games, even if you're not home, you can catch it on Facebook. You can catch it on abcnewsford.com. Any streaming device can find this game around the world. I know there's parents that are stationed overseas. We've had them watch the football games before, and it's so cool when you've got a dad who's overseas in Afghanistan watching their kid on the internet. I don't think there's a better feeling than that when you get a text or an email or a tweet from a dad or a mom that's stationed overseas. I love that part of streaming the games.
Turnover by North Charleston. Goodwin comes up with it. Or make it Thorne, rather, comes up with it. And a foul on Deshaun Murray. And Chris Brown again upset. And now all important free throws on the other end here for Carlos Thorne, the senior guard.
North Charleston is getting sloppy, and it just seems like that momentum has crept and crept and crept the way of Burke. And, you know, Burke is just kind of unflappable right now. But you got to hit the free throws.
And really kind of what confuses you is the fact that with no shot clock, they don't need to be in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I mean, they've had a double-digit lead for most of the game. That's right, they made some careless turnovers, and all of a sudden Burke's right back in it. A chance for Thorne here to make it a three-point game.
With the pace of play tonight, even if there was a shot clock, I don't think we'd be using it a whole lot.
True. And won't go down, rebound, and putback is good by Hines. It's a two-point game.
Well, if Burke wins this game, there's no question who the MVP is.
Another turnover. Hines gives it up. Now back to Thorne. Pass underneath. Layup is good by Goodwin, and we're tied.
Foul called, but wow, I mean, look at the other side of the stands. They are going crazy. 100% of the momentum has gone the way of the Burke Bulldogs. And how about Hines? He offensively has done it, especially in the fourth quarter, but just now made a big defensive play, got the steal. Burke gets the bucket, and now they are riling up the crowd.
Trent Bennett to the free throw line here for North Charleston, and a tie game after the Cougars led by as many as 17 here in the second half.
Carlos Thorne pointed at the Burke crowd and said, hey, raise the guy roofing here.
Big Cruz Chevrolet free throw there by Bennett to put North Charleston back in the lead. Second one on the way, no good. Ball tipped, still a battle. Murray comes up with it. Looks like Goodwin's got it. And did he get a timeout?
He did. Deion Richardson got the timeout. Burke taking it. And we got a 71-70 game with exactly 60 ticks left on the clock, but Deion Richardson is not happy right now.
Well, the scoreboard's showing that they do have a timeout left. And yeah, they did give it to him.
Yeah, the last thing you'd want is a Chris Webber type situation in a game like this.
Wow, again, if you're just tuning in, rivalry game. This is really one of the best rivalry games in the state of South Carolina. These two teams have been playing against each other for so many years. State championships involved, obviously. North Charleston has high hopes with their team this season to maybe get that crown. Burke has been there. They've won state championships in 2015 and 2017. Both teams with 11 wins. Both teams with great players. And just fitting that it's going to come down probably to the final shot here in a one-point game.
Yeah, Chris Brown said it. I mean, his team, he has state championship hopes, having Doggy Brown and Deshaun Murray. But if he gets a couple of guys back, he says a guy named Paul Neely, he wears number 0, 6'6", dynamic senior. If he qualifies academically, he said he is a game changer, shoots the three, runs the floor, dunks on people. He's a transfer from Goose Creek, one of the traditional powers in our area. So he said if he gets him back, if he gets Neely back, then you've got a three-headed monster. And if you have that, then you really can make a run at the state title.
Al Burke with a chance to take the lead. Under a minute left to play. Thorne hands it off to Hines. Now Thompson spins, and Burke has taken the lead. And now a steal. Thorne trying to dribble out the clock. Double teamed, and a foul against North Charleston.
And those were fist pounds of happiness from Carlos Thorne. He is pumped. But you gotta calm yourself down. You gotta hit the free throws. Now, whatever happens here, North Charleston can tie or take the lead if they get the ball back. Would you just set something up for Doggy, or do you do what you've been doing all night and kind of run and see what, just kind of run and gun?
Well, the good thing is, you can try Doggy on a drive, and if it's not there, kick it out to Murray.
That's true. Or Holmes, who's hit a couple of big shots from the corner.
Cruz Chevrolet free throws for Carlos Thorne. with a 1-point lead.
Look at the Burke sideline. They are just loving it. And the calmest one is Earl Brown, sitting with his hat on. He is completely calm sitting there. Everyone's going crazy. Earl Brown's just hanging out, chilling.
To make it a 3-point game, he got it. 34 seconds left. And we had a couple of little kids trying to get back to mom and dad to catch the final couple of seconds. So stoppage in play, they'll bring it back here to half court.
I saw that happening the whole way. North Charleston police are just trying to get everyone sit in your seats, stay in the stands. You figure one team is rushing the court after this one.
What a finish here from North Charleston. 32 seconds left. Here's Doggy Brown into the lane. Layup is good and a foul.
Well, you knew they were going to give it to Doggy. He'll go to the line to tie it up. Only took 2 seconds off the clock.
Strong finish with the left hand by Doggy Brown, the senior. And now a chance to tie this game up again. Again, Burke trailed by as many as 17 points here in the second half. Deion Richardson, the head coach, has brought his team all the way back.
That's what high school basketball is all about. This is great.
For the tie, no good. Ball tipped, rebound down to North Charleston, and another foul.
Big play right there for Rico Planter. Really nice job grabbing that and going right back up with it.
Did you see the look on Chris Brown's face just a minute ago?
Yeah.
The head coach for North Charleston, just a smile.
Yep.
Just taking it all in, loving the atmosphere.
Rico Planter, he's a big player in big situations. He hit the game-winning shot at Fort Dorchester.
Banks
And
it
doing
in
just
here.
that right now. Planter is actually a transfer from West Ashley High School. And, you know, he's a big situation type guy. Tie game, looking for the lead with 27 seconds left.
Planter. No good. Tipped again. Rebound comes down to Burke, knocked out of bounds. It looks like the last touch by Planter, and it was. So it'll be Burke basketball in a tie game. Look at Chris Brown. He's loving it.
Yeah, oh, look at that, that smile's worth $1 million right there.
He's enjoying this one.
Yeah. He's not going to enjoy putting the tape back on. He's not going to enjoy putting it back on and watching them give up the 17-point lead, but I think he'll like the ending here. It's a pretty good ending.
And welcome you down to the court again alongside Scott Eisberg. I'm Jeff McCarriger. Again, this was everything we thought it was going to be. I mean, really one of the best rivalries here in the state. And it comes down really to the final possession.
It comes down to
amazing
this.
that it was a 17-point game. We were talking about it. You mentioned it early in the broadcast that, you know, if this game got to double digits, no big deal, because either team could come back, and that's exactly what we saw.
You've seen every bit of emotion, but you've also seen players that you didn't expect to stand up in the fourth quarter, stand up. Guys like Deshaun Murray, you know we're going to shoot, and Doggy Brown, you know we're going to shoot. But guys like Ralph Holmes, he's a guy that's hitting threes from the corner and big shots for North Charleston, and nobody has been bigger for Burke than Kendall Hines. He's been outstanding for Burke, getting them back into this ball game, hitting shots, doing what he's done, and he's actually made a couple of big plays on defense as well. Now, number one, you have to hit your free throws if you end up on the foul line, and you got to let your playmakers make plays.
23 seconds left. Almost stolen away, and now it is stolen. And Burke has to foul. They wanted a jump ball, but foul is called.
North Charleston again.
So the Cougars now will have a chance to take the lead from the free throw line. And the man you were just talking about, Ralph Holmes.
He's the guy you want. He is the knockdown shooter. You know, he's the guy with ice in his veins who can shoot the ball. I mean, Coach said it. 8 out of 10 times from 3, he's hitting it. Free throws a lot easier than a 3, but the pressure is on. Got to get everybody off the court here. 1-point game.
He makes them both. 17.5 seconds left. And a timeout here for Burke to talk it over. They'll have a chance to tie or maybe even take the lead with a 3.
That is the final timeout for the Burke Bulldogs. There's Marcus Hammond, the former College of Charleston Cougar, riling up the troops. He's getting them pumped up. He was an emotional player when he was at the College of Charleston. He was in some really emotional games, a couple of Southern Conference finals against Steph Curry. And Marcus Hammond was on those teams that lost to Steph Curry, but he was on those teams. Memphis, Tennessee native.
The big question here for Burke, I would say, from what we've seen tonight, is who's going to handle the basketball, bringing it up court? Because that's been the big thing for Burke here in the last few possessions, is just trying to get something set up in the half court and just get it into the hands of somebody who can hang on to it, because the defense by North Charleston's just been swarming. It'll be Thompson to inbound. They get it to Thorne. That's the guy they wanted. 12 seconds left. Kick out, 3-pointer, misses everything. Put back is good to tie it.
Weak side rebound. Just got to watch that weak side rebounder. North Charleston did it.
Murray over to Holmes and lost it out of bounds. They're showing 0.1 seconds left, and obviously no ability for replay. If this is college basketball, you probably see a little bit more time left on there, but all you can do here is just tip.
No, nothing.
And that's not going to do it. So we will head to overtime, and
free
why not?
Basketball. Free basketball in Park Circle tonight. The smile's back. We got the smile from Chris Brown. That's great. He's excited.
Overtime basketball here from North Charleston in our high school hoops game of the week, brought to you by Guy Roofing.
Only 4 minutes in high school as opposed to the 5 you'd get in college. It is a shorter game in high school than you'd have in college too. 32 minutes compared to the 40 minutes.
Well, how much fun has this been? Again, this is just our second ever televised game locally here in the Low Country. We actually had a really good one last week. Ashley Ridge jumped out to an 18-5. I know you were in New Orleans with Clemson.
I was watching. I kept my eyes on it, absolutely.
So Ashley Ridge jumped out to an 18-5 lead on Wando. It looked like Ashley Ridge was going to blow him out of the gym. But Wando hung in there. They cut it all the way down to 4 in the second half, and Ashley Ridge would end up winning by about 4 or 5 points. And then here now with our second game ever televised here in the Low Country. Obviously a huge rivalry, and what a battle tonight.
Yeah,
this is
it's
fun.
been great, and I think that was kind of the point of doing the high school hoops, is we were going to pick 6 games, we were going to make them during region play, and we were going to make them all rivalry type games, because those are more fun. You don't want to see blowouts or teams from out of town. You want to see those in-town teams battle it out for region titles, and I think we picked a really good slate of 6 games, and you know, this was one that stuck out to me, because these kids, they don't get the football games on TV, because we try to do all 5A games for football. They don't get the football games on TV, but in basketball, this is every bit as good, if not better, than a 5A game in the Low Country.
4 minutes of overtime here from North Charleston High School. Again, our Guy Roofing High School Hoops game of the week. And it'll be Murray in the middle. Looks like against Kelvin Allen. And it goes out of bounds. They're going to do it again. Both tipped it out of bounds. Deion Richardson again, head coach for Burke. The Bulldogs come into tonight 11-5. They've won 2 in a row, 6 of their last 8. For North Charleston, they're 11-4. They've won 7 straight games.
Deion Richardson, a Charleston Southern grad, but he didn't play basketball at Charleston Southern. Played high school ball overseas, and then just went to school at Charleston Southern And he said the coaching fraternity he has from people that he went to school with at Charleston Southern is really big. Another coach in the area, Leon Wheaton, went there. So several coaches in the area went to Charleston Southern, didn't play ball for him.
Planner on the drive, missed it, but the follow is good by Green. Thompson brings it up court. Flips it back up top, and now Murray with the steal to the other end.
That's a big time play by Murray right there. He didn't get fancy and try to dunk it. He went up for the smart play and the layup, and it was a beautiful steal and a beautiful layup. That's a 4-point game.
4-point lead for the Cougars. Three-pointer by Thompson, no good. Rebound North Charleston. Near steal, Murray hangs onto it. No look to Green. Left-handed shot floats in.
Got one timeout if you're Deion Richardson. I think you got to think about taking it right now to stop this momentum.
Still 2.5 minutes left.
Whatever Burke had at the end of the second half, North Charleston has had since the start of overtime.
Floater baseline will go. Planter back the other way. No whistle. Tip won't fall. Rebound down to Burke. Thompson to the other end. Lost it in the air. Late whistle and a foul on Green.
The look on the face of Michael Taylor there. Just pure shock.
Little bit of a bump.
Not Michael Taylor, I should say. That was Ralph Holmes. Looked like an 11 on his jersey. It was a 10.
Holmes couldn't believe it. Big missed free throw there by Kyrie Thompson. What a game. Burke trailed by 17 here in the second half.
You thought you might have a nice quiet Friday night in between two college basketball games on ESPN. And here you go with this one. Jeff will be calling the Arkansas State Coastal game tomorrow on the ESPN family of networks.
There's Dougie Brown. Trapped, somehow gets it away to Murray. And that one out of bounds. And they're going to keep it with North Charleston. Yeah, tough losses for Coastal Carolina and the College of Charleston.
Yeah, really tough loss for the Cougars last night.
Holmes no good. And a foul on the rebound. Looks like we might have free throws for Burke coming up, and we will.
Last night, College of Charleston had a big lead, I think about 17 points as well. And they ended up losing to Northeastern. Grant Riller, though, the first triple-double in the history of the College of Charleston. They've never had one in school history. So a tough loss. That's 2 in a row for the Cougars. They've got Hofstra tomorrow. But a big win last night for Charleston Southern, going up to Campbell on national TV and winning by 15 points on national TV. And that was without their star, Dontrell Schuler, who didn't make the trip to the game. So CSU, a really nice win last night. CFC is going to need to bounce back against the Pride of Hofstra tomorrow. And a rivalry game for the Citadel tomorrow. They've got VMI on the road, the former Digs of Duggar Bockham.
Always love that game. Hines knocks it in. This one not over yet. Just under 2 minutes left, 3-point game. Holmes gives it up to Brown, back to Holmes. Nice bounce pass into the lane, and Brown spins it in.
It's funny, Dougie has been really good tonight. He's quieted down a little bit in the second half, but when all is said and done, he's going to have a quiet 30, 35 points when all is said and done.
Three-pointer misses everything, goes off the hands of Cummings. And it'll be North Charleston basketball here with 1:31 left. And a foul against Burke.
both of these coaches get very emotional, but they're not yellers. They don't yell at their players. They're pretty calm with their players. They get emotional with the refs, but they're, especially Chris Brown. He's a pretty reserved coach, but he's done a really nice job at North Charleston over his time here. Been in the Low Country 4.5 years.
Rico Planner back to the free throw line. A couple of Cruz Chevrolet free throws. Bangs the first one off the back of the iron. And substitutions now for Burke. Keon Hines back in the game, as well as Kyrie Thompson. Jenkins also back in off the bench here. Planter with his seconds and misses them both. Putback, though, is good by Murray. What a player.
Yeah, really is.
7-point game. Thompson all the way to the other end. Misses on the layup. And the tip is good. And a foul.
Hines again. Kendall Hines. Really special.
5-point game again. What's the tip? Great effort. So Hines with a chance at a 3-point play.
167 points in a high school basketball game so far tonight. No shortage of offense, and I'll take it. Offense is good for TV ratings, and TV ratings pay us. So it's a win-win situation.
And that's the 5th foul on Nate Green. So for North Charleston, they're going to lose one of their players. Minute 13 left to play. Too short. Rebound for Burke. Hines hangs, can't score, but draws the foul. So now 2 free throws here as you look at Green to get out of this game with 5 fouls. 2 free throws here makes it a one possession game again.
Yep. Doesn't matter when in this game you are. You just can't count out either team.
Yeah.
Nobody is going down easy. This is going every round.
I mean, North Charleston has really been in control most of the game, but Burke just won't go away.
They won't go away.
Up by 17. Burke came all the way back, actually took the lead briefly.
And that's Evander Jones coming in the game for North Charleston, filling that big man role. And he's got some size, just not as seasoned as Nate Green, who just fouled out of the game.
Big opportunity here for Hines, and makes the first. Again, if he knocks in another one here, it's back to a 1-possession game.
And I guess it's quite fitting in a heavyweight bout like this, a guy named Evander would check in late in overtime. We'll see if he's the real deal.
To make it a 3-point game. Too short. Brown with the rebound. There's Evander. Boy, there was no doubt where he was going with that basketball.
He took about 8 steps to get there, but he had his sights set.
Hines baseline. Wants to give it up. That one won't go out of bounds. It's going to stay with Burke. Under a minute left to play. Into the corner, 3-pointer short. Big rebound down for the Cougars. Holmes gets fouled, and now free throws on the other end for Ralph Holmes.
Of course, stay tuned after the game. As soon as we're done playing, take a quick break. We'll hand out the trophy. We'll hand out the player of the game. We'll interview the winning coach. So you don't want to tune off for that. You want to stay tuned and see who's victorious in this game and what they have to say about this wild battle.
We'll have our Roper St. Francis player of the game coming up.
And then Greg Brzezowski will have all the highlights of this one. He'll have highlights of some other high school games as well as the Stingrays playing tonight. All on the news at 11 o'clock on ABC News 4. And then big news for Clemson football we'll talk about as well. Travis Etienne coming back for his senior season, foregoing the NFL draft where many thought he'd be a first-round pick.
Just what every Gamecock fan wanted to hear. That's great news, Scott.
Yeah. I was shocked, but you know what? In this day and age, there are insurance policies out there, and you do.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
But you know what?
Yep.
A running back, that's another year of mileage on their body. That's
agree.
a tough decision to make for a running back. But he said, he wants to finish the degree he started, and you got to give him a ton of credit for that. He has done, and I mean, he's rewritten the record books, not only at Clemson, but in the ACC as well.
Well, you wonder how much of that decision had to do, too, with the loss. If they had won it, would he be gone?
I thought about that, but the other part of it, he's already got a national championship in his back pocket. So, I don't know. It says something, I think, about the Clemson fraternity and family that these guys, want to come back and are willing to forego a lot of money in the NFL to give it another whirl with their teammates at Clemson. And I think Clemson's the overwhelming #1 team coming into the season next year because Joe Burrow ain't on LSU anymore.
Thompson to the other end. Layup won't fall. Battle for the rebound. Evander just a little upset.
Yeah.
He was thrown to the ground.
Yeah. Chris Brown telling him, calm down. Don't do anything crazy. Don't get a technical foul. Don't give them points they don't need.
Well, Evander could be a tight end in the Big Ten. It's huge. Hines has it poked away. Gets it back and draws the foul.
Looks like Doggy Brown is cramping up here. If you look, he's massaging his right hamstring. And if you're North Charleston, you want to keep him on the court. But if you're cramping, that's not a great situation. He's trying to stretch it out right now and kind of rubbing the back hamstring, and he's grimacing in pain. So something to keep an eye on right here with Doggy Brown.
'87-83. This to make it a one-possession game again. And he got it, 87-84. And Burke calling the final timeout here in overtime.
Well, if you're going to draw it up, he did save the timeout. This is when you have to draw it up, and Deion Richardson certainly has a plan.
Get our first game.
Nope.
Last week was Ashley Ridge and Wando. Tonight, rivalry game here in North Charleston. Next week, Goose Creek at James Island. Another good one for you next Friday night, 8:30.
Yeah, it's fun. As these teams kind of play for region titles, we get deeper into the season. Each one of these games gets more and more important as, region titles are decided. And in high school sports, the region is everything. Before region doesn't matter for the playoffs. Once you're in region, that's what matters in playoff play. And that's the huge thing, is these games against teams that you know so well, you play each of them twice a season, are tremendously important for the playoff rankings.
North Charleston 11-4 on the season. They have won 7 straight. Had a big win against Fort Dorchester back in December, and trying to win a big one here against their rival Burke. 3-point lead, 30 seconds left, and free throws now for the Cougars on the other end.
Once the playoffs start, that's when home court advantage really starts to help you, because you're playing teams from out of your region so they don't travel as well. And that's when home court can really help you. You want to earn that home court advantage in the playoffs. And then once you get to the lower states and states, then it's neutral site. So the upper state plays up in Greenville at the Bon Secours Wellness. The lower state plays at the Florence Civic Center up in Florence in the PD, and then state championships at Colonial Life Arena in Columbia. Everyone meets in the middle.
Planter with a big miss. Holmes, though, gets a big offensive rebound, jump ball, possession arrow, gives it to the Cougars. What a play by Ralph Holmes. I mean, what a second half.
Yeah, he really has played very tough.
Near steal. Thompson knocks it out of bounds. And Holmes with back-to-back threes to spark a big run by North Charleston earlier in the half, and now maybe perhaps a game-saving offensive rebound. We'll see how this possession ends. 3-point game.
North Charleston has it in the hands of the man they wanted in.
Evander Jones spins, draws the foul. But I don't think there's anyone out here who can stop him.
No.
Once he gets that momentum going.
No.
He is a big man, 6'4". They list him at 225. He's every bit of that.
He's got to work on the touch a little bit of a softer touch down low. With Evander Jones, he is certainly a big body down low, which you want to have.
And too short on the free throws, so the Cougars missing some critical Cruz Chevrolet free throws here down the stretch.
This is a tremendous one. You want to make it a 2-possession game if you're North Charleston.
Missed it. Rebound down to Burke. Thompson all the way to the other end, gives it to Hines, and the layup falls in. It's a 1-point game. And now again with no shot clock, Burke is forced to foul immediately.
Chris Brown is protesting for an intentional foul because he grabbed him and held on. Chris Brown is livid about it. He really wanted an intentional foul called. And he's yelling at Deion Richardson right now.
Yeah, both the coaches going at it right now.
Oh, they're yelling at each other. Look at Brown and Richardson. Richardson's being restrained.
All of a sudden, both coaches. Well, there was a shot, and I couldn't tell if it was a flop or if there was really contact on that last rebound off the missed free throw by Evander Jones. That's kind of what started everything.
Right.
And then it just kind of escalated as the momentum went to the other side of the court.
Our buddy, the principal, is
Here, watch right here.
Oh,
but was it really contact?
I don't know if it was a flop or not.
That's what started it. You know, in college basketball now, they go back and they look.
You can look at things like that.
And it's a Class B technical now. I mean, they'll call technical fouls on a flop. But that's where it started. Obviously, emotions high here in this rivalry game.
It means more. There's no question. Both of these coaches will outwardly tell you this game means more to them. And emotions are getting the best of everybody right now. I like how the principal has just set himself in between the two coaches.
It's going to make for an interesting handshake after the game, no doubt.
They did the pregame handshake, so maybe they won't do the postgame.
Spins out. Holmes, though, has his hands on it again.
Jump ball.
And jump ball, possession arrow will give it to Burke.
Wow. And Doggy Brown is, I mean, he is, that hamstring is tight. I don't know what he's going to do defensively right now. He's running on one leg.
4.8 seconds left. Burke's got a chance to tie it, maybe even win it with a three. Down 2. 3 seconds left. They get it to Thompson, and it is missed at the buzzer. North Charleston hangs on to win it.
Well, Jeff, I'd say we had a pretty good one tonight. Cooler heads prevail, and that's the most important thing. North Charleston gets out of here with an 88-86 win.
Kyrie Thompson, a look at it at the buzzer. Spins out, and North Charleston wins it by 2. So the Cougars win their 8th straight. Here it is again. Nice pass, great look. Definitely his feet behind the line. Would have been a three-pointer and would have won it. But no good, and again, North Charleston hangs on to win it. They're now 12-4 on the season. Cougars win it 88-86. We'll take a timeout and back with the Roper St. Francis Player of the Game and Trophy presentation right after this.
coach around? Hold on 1 second, we need to. No, you don't have to do one. You're good. You know how many you had? How many